I was asked to stand outside the frame for my own father's retirement party photos, not because the photographer needed to adjust the lighting, not because they were doing immediate family shots first, but because, as my sister Chelsea whispered while repositioning herself front and center, "You're not really part of Dad's success story, are you?" I should have left right then, but I didn't. I'm Maya, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the family disappointment, not because I was cruel or irresponsible, simply because I chose a different path. While Chelsea followed Dad into corporate law, becoming a senior partner at his firm by 32, I worked as a freelance administrative assistant, taking whatever contracts I could find to pay rent on my studio apartment in Queens. The retirement gala was being held at the River Club in Manhattan, the kind of place where the chandeliers cost more than my annual income. Mom had called me 3 weeks before, not to invite me warmly, but to inform me. "Your father's retiring after 40 years at Morrison & Associates," she'd said, her voice carrying that perpetual tone of mild disappointment she reserved for conversations with me. "There's a celebration on the 23rd. Chelsea's organizing everything. You should come. It would look strange if you weren't there. Not we'd love to have you. Not we want you there. Just that my absence would look strange." I'd spent $200 I didn't have on a dress. Navy blue, simple, appropriate. I'd practiced my smile in the mirror, the one that said I'm fine when I wasn't. I'd prepared myself for the inevitable questions about my career, my lack of marriage prospects, my general failure to launch into the kind of life they could brag about. I hadn't prepared myself for this. The party was in full swing when I arrived. The room glittered with Manhattan's legal elite, all of them ready to toast my father's illustrious career. I spotted Chelsea immediately, moving through the crowd in a designer gown, her hand perpetually on her husband Brandon's arm, the perfect power couple. Mom saw me and gave a tight smile. "Maya, you made it. The coat check is that way. Chelsea has the seating chart. Find her." No hug. "No, you look nice. Just directions." I found Chelsea near the podium, reviewing notes with the event coordinator. "Hey," I said, "where am I sitting?" She barely looked up. "Oh, Maya." "Right." She scanned her tablet. "You're at table 12. Where's that?" "Near the back, by the kitchen service door." She said it like it was completely normal. "We had to make room at the family tables for Dad's partners and their spouses. You understand." I didn't understand, but I nodded anyway, because that's what I always did. Table 12 was exactly where she'd said. Tucked in a corner, partially obscured by a large decorative column, positioned so that the constant swing of the kitchen doors created a draft every 30 seconds. The other seats at my table were empty. Apparently, I wasn't even worthy of random guest placement. I sat down, my face burning, watching as Chelsea directed the photographer for family portraits. Mom and Dad in the center, Chelsea and Brandon on one side, Dad's brother and his family on the other. The photographer counted down, the flash went off, and nobody noticed I was missing. Or maybe they did notice, and that was the point. The dinner service began. Tables 1 through 10 were served first, the waitstaff moving with choreographed precision. Then tables 11 and 13. My table was skipped entirely. I watched plates of salmon and filet mignon pass by my shoulder, heading to the kitchen, while I sat with an empty placemat. I was about to get up and leave, dignity be damned, when someone slid into the seat next to me. "They skipped us," said a woman's voice, warm with amusement rather than offense. I turned. She was probably in her mid-50s, with silver hair cut in a sharp bob, wearing a black pantsuit that screamed expensive in that quiet way truly expensive things do. She didn't look like someone who belonged at table 12. "I think they skipped just me," I said quietly. "This is the overflow table. You must be supposed to be somewhere else." "Oh, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be," she said, extending her hand. "Jennifer Wu." "And you are?" "Maya Winters." I shook her hand, confused. "Are you a friend of my father's?" "Friend might be generous. I'm the event photographer's boss, actually. I own Meridian Gallery in Chelsea. Sarah, the photographer, is one of my artists. I came to supervise the portraits and got curious about the dynamics." She tilted her head, studying me. "You're family, aren't you?" "I saw them do the group shots. You weren't included." Heat flooded my cheeks. "It's complicated." "No," Jennifer said flatly. "It's cruel. But let's not waste time on them. Tell me what you do, Maya." It was such a strange question, coming from a stranger at my father's retirement party, that I actually answered honestly. "I'm a freelance admin assistant. I handle scheduling, emails, data entry, whatever people need. That's what you do for money. What do you do that matters to you? Nobody had ever asked me that. Nobody had ever implied that what I did for money might be different from what mattered to me. I hesitated. I take photos, nothing professional. Just around the city. On my phone mostly. Sometimes with an old digital camera I bought at a thrift store. Show me. What? Your photos. Show me. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking slightly, and opened my gallery. Street photography, mostly. Early morning light on fire escapes, the way shadows fell across subway platforms, a woman laughing in Washington Square Park, a bodega cat sleeping in a window display. Jennifer scrolled through them in silence. The kitchen door swung open and closed. At the front of the room, my father was giving his speech, and people were laughing at his jokes. Neither of us looked up. "These are good," Jennifer finally said. "No, these are better than good. The composition, the light, the emotional honesty. Maya, have you ever shown these anywhere? Shown them? No. I just take them. Just." Jennifer smiled. Artists always say just. Just writing, just painting, just photographing, as if it's nothing. But it's not nothing. This is something. She handed back my phone. "I'm doing a group show in 2 months. Emerging Voices in Urban Photography. I want you in it." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. I'm not an emerging voice. I'm a random person with a camera phone. You're a photographer who hasn't been given a chance yet. There's a difference. Jennifer pulled a business card from her clutch. "Come to the gallery Monday morning. 10 o'clock. We'll talk specifics. I want 12 to 15 prints. The show's theme is Invisible Cities, the hidden moments in urban life that most people miss. Your work fits perfectly." She stood up, smoothing her jacket. "And Maya? Stop sitting at tables where people forget to serve you. You're worth more than that." Then she was gone, weaving through the tables toward the exit, leaving me holding a business card that felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I looked at it. Jennifer Wu, owner and curator, Meridian Gallery. A Chelsea address, a phone number, an email. Across the room, Chelsea was introducing Brandon to one of Dad's senior partners, her laugh bright and practiced. Mom was nodding along to someone's story, her posture perfect. Dad was beaming, surrounded by admirers. None of them had looked for me once. I slipped the card into my purse and left before dessert was served. That weekend, I didn't answer my mother's single text, asking if I'd had a nice time. Instead, I went through every photo I'd taken in the past 2 years. I organized them by theme, by light quality, by emotional tone. I watched YouTube tutorials on printing, on matting, on presentation. I researched Meridian Gallery and found Jennifer Wu had launched the careers of 3 photographers who now showed at MoMA. Monday morning, I stood outside the gallery at 9:55, my heart hammering. The space was stunning. High ceilings, white walls, perfect lighting, current exhibition, black and white landscapes that made me want to cry, they were so beautiful. Jennifer appeared from a back office. "You came. Good. I had a feeling you might talk yourself out of it." "I almost did," I admitted. "Most artists do." She led me to her office. "Here's what I'm thinking. The show opens October 15th. We'll have 7 photographers, each with their own section. You'll need 12 to 15 prints, matted and mounted. I can recommend a printer who works with artists on payment plans if budget's an issue." "It is," I said quietly. "Not a problem. I've been there. This is an investment in your future." She opened a folder. "Now, I looked at your Instagram last night. You posted 3 photos from the gala, the one of the empty chair at your table, the one of the kitchen door, and the one of the flower arrangement blocking your view of the podium. Those 3 images tell a complete story. That's going in the show. I'd posted those at 2 a.m, unable to sleep, turning my humiliation into art because I didn't know what else to do with it. I call that series Invisible, I said. Perfect. Expand it. Document what it means to be unseen. In your family, in the city, wherever you find it. And Maya? This is the first show, not the last. If you're serious about this, I'll work with you, but you have to be serious. I am. Then let's begin. The next 2 months were the hardest and best of my life. I worked my admin jobs during the day, then spent every evening and weekend shooting, editing, printing. Jennifer was demanding but fair, pushing me to dig deeper, to find the emotion beneath the composition. I created a series of 15 photographs titled Invisible. Empty chairs at family dinners, figures turned away from the camera, shadows in crowded spaces, reflections that showed what was ignored. The opening night arrived. I wore the same navy dress I'd worn to Dad's party, reclaimed now as something different. The gallery filled with people, Chelsea hipsters and art critics and collectors. My work hung on the south wall, each image mounted with a small placard. Maya Winters, Invisible Series, Digital Photography. I stood in front of my favorite piece, the one of the empty chair at table 12, and felt hands shaking. Maya? I turned. My mother stood there, my father beside her, both looking uncomfortable and out of place among the gallery crowd. Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? Chelsea saw something on Instagram, Mom said. About a gallery show. We thought we'd come. Chelsea appeared behind them, Brandon in tow. She stared at the wall of my photographs, her expression unreadable. These are... Dad started, then stopped. You did this? Yes. He moved closer to the image of the empty chair. Read the description card. His face paled. This is from my retirement party, he said quietly. It is. You were sitting alone. I was. The silence stretched. Chelsea opened her mouth, then closed it. For once, she had nothing to say. Jennifer appeared at my elbow. Maya, there's someone I want you to meet. A collector from the Whitney. He's interested in purchasing 3 pieces. I'll be right there, I said, then turned back to my family. I'm glad you came, but I need to work now. This is my job. My real job. I walked away, feeling lighter than I had in years. The show was a success. I sold 6 pieces that night, including the empty chair image. A photo blogger wrote a review calling my work haunting and honest. 2 other galleries reached out about future shows, and a design firm in Brooklyn hired me as their in-house photographer, full-time, with benefits and a salary that meant I could finally move out of Queens. I didn't tell my family about any of it. 6 months later, Chelsea called. Not Mom, not Dad, Chelsea. Maya, we need to talk. About what? Can you meet me for coffee, please? Something in her voice made me agree. We met at a cafe in Midtown, neutral territory. Chelsea looked tired. The perfect polish was still there, but dimmed somehow. She ordered a latte, stared at it, then finally spoke. Brandon's leaving me. What? He's leaving. He met someone else. Someone from his firm. Someone younger. Someone who... She laughed bitterly. Someone who actually has time for him because she's not working 90-hour weeks trying to make partner. Chelsea, I'm so sorry. Are you? I wouldn't blame you if you weren't. I've been awful to you. My whole life, I've been awful to you. I didn't deny it. We both knew it was true. I talked to my therapist about it, she continued. About why I did that. And she asked me if maybe I was so threatened by you that I had to make you smaller to feel big enough. Tears welled in her eyes, and she was right. You were always so effortlessly creative, so content with less. And I hated you for it, because I needed everything, all the success and recognition and approval, and it still wasn't enough. It's still not enough. Chelsea, I saw your show. I went back after that first night, alone. I stood in front of that photograph of the empty chair, and I realized I put you there. Mom and Dad did too, but I was the worst. I made you invisible on purpose. She wiped her eyes with a napkin. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve the chance to ask. But I'm asking anyway. Can we start over? Can I get to know my sister? The real one. Not the one I invented so I could feel superior. I looked at her. This woman who'd tormented me for 30 years, who was now crying into her coffee at a midtown cafe. Part of me wanted to walk away, to let her feel what I'd felt, but a bigger part of me was just tired of carrying it. We can try, I said. But Chelsea, I need you to understand something. I'm not coming back to family dinners where I'm an afterthought. I'm not sitting at table 12 ever again. If we do this, we do it as equals. Or we don't do it at all. Equals, she repeated. I don't know if I know how to do that. Then learn. She nodded, took a shaky breath. Mom wants to see you. She won't say it, but she does. And Dad. Dad hung a print of your work in his home office. He bought it from that collector who purchased it opening night. Paid twice what the collector paid for it, just to get it back. Which one? The empty chair. Something cracked open in my chest. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But maybe the beginning of it. Tell them I'll come to dinner, I said. But at a restaurant, in public, and I'm bringing Jennifer. She's important to me, and I need you all to know that. Okay. Chelsea smiled, watery but real. Okay. That dinner happened 2 weeks later. It was awkward. Dad apologized stiffly. Mom cried. Jennifer told stories about the art world that made everyone laugh nervously, but we all showed up, and we all tried, and it was a start. I didn't move back into their world. I built my own. A second show at Meridian. A solo exhibition at a gallery in Dumbo. Teaching workshops for young photographers. A coffee table book deal. And when I walked into my studio apartment in Brooklyn, the one with good light and exposed brick and prints of my own work on the walls, I felt something I'd never felt before. Visible. Not because anyone else saw me, but because I finally saw myself. My sister had made me sit alone at table 12 at my father's retirement party, behind a column where nobody would notice I was missing. But a stranger had taken a chance on me that night, had seen what my family couldn't, and had handed me the tools to build something real. The best revenge, I learned, wasn't making them sorry. It was becoming someone who didn't need their approval anymore. Someone who could offer forgiveness not because they deserved it, but because I was strong enough to carry it. Someone who would never sit at table 12 again. Not because I'd earned a better seat, but because I'd built my own table and decided exactly who got to sit there.